Paranormal Buzz Radio is proud to present Girls vs. Ghost Media's Spooky Talk with Madison Smith from Madison Paranormal. Spooky Talk. You can find Spooky Talk every other Sunday, 6 Eastern, 5 Central, right here live on Paranormal Buzz Radio. Be sure to join in the live interactive chat by going to Spreaker.com or downloading the Spreaker app for all devices.
The views and opinions expressed in this podcast by the host or the guest do not necessarily reflect the views of Paranormal Buzz Radio or its sponsors. Use of any material produced by Paranormal Buzz Radio without express written consent is strictly prohibited. For information on everything Paranormal Buzz Radio has to offer, visit our website, paranormalbuzzradio.com. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram. Listener discretion is advised.
And here's your host, Madison Smith.
Hi everyone, I'm Madison Smith. I'd like to welcome you all to Spooky Talk with Maddie. Tonight's guests are based out of New Hampshire. They both have been on a lot of different podcasts and visited a lot of different awesome places. Graydream Xpendition is a paranormal duo consisting of a para couple, Chris and Joy, and David Childers. Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
Not bad. And yourself? That's good.
Doing great. I love the Ghostbuster in the background. That's awesome.
Thank you. That's like most of my collection. There's a lot more to the sides, but you know. Thank you. All right. So, just so everyone knows, Christian Joy, she isn't going to be here today since she wasn't feeling well. So, hope she gets well soon. There's that.
Yeah, but she too, because I got a liver. She gets flabby whenever she's sick.
All right. So before we get started, would you like to spread out your social media, where people can find you at before I forget?
Yeah, sure. Just look us up on Facebook, Graydream Xpenditions. You can also look up, me, David Childers, and Kirsten Joy. I mean, basically, also, we got, she has Vision Through the Veil Paranormal. That's a Facebook page. Also, and I have Mississippi Paranormal Researchers. And that's where you can find us.
Woo! All right. And then if anyone has any questions, feel free to put them in the comments. And if I don't see them, I am deeply sorry. I'm trying my best, okay? All right. So shall we begin?
Let's do it. Let's really rock.
All right. So how old were you when you experienced your first paranormal experience?
Well, I was, say, probably around 11, 12, something like that. You see, I lived in Vicksburg, Mississippi. And my family's property, it was Civil War battles, and my family's property was actually owned battleground. I just got through watching Crocodile Dundee. I went outside, I had cut off jeans, I had snake skin boots, I made me a Bowie knife out of a piece of wood, and I'm out there and it's starting to get dust, right? And I'm out there just playing around, being Crocodile Dundee, and just happened to look over, and at the wood line, I saw this full-body apparition, had a full beard, looked like a Confederate uniform. I mean, it scared the heck out of me. I go running inside, I tell my dad, I'm like, Dad, there's somebody outside. He's like, there's nobody on this property, blah, blah, blah. I mean, this was family property, and it was freaking huge. It was a dead-end road. And, of course, he looked outside, didn't see anything, he just laughed. And it just went on from there. We lived in a two-bedroom trailer.
Mm-hmm.
It was just the whole place it was the property that was haunted. It would get to where lights would cut on and off. Of course, smoke detectors, it was an old smoke detector. that would go on and off, but that could be batteries. You know, back then I'm like, what the heck? You know, places on the TV's cutting on and off. I hear bumps and bangs in the trailer. You know, I mean, like I said, we're in the middle of freaking movie. This is country, and couldn't do it in just over years. I just started doing research, reading scary stories, this and that, urban legends, and started first paranormal team.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I couldn't even tell you what it was 21 years ago. After June 7th, my birthday, whenever it started. And we were like, oh, yeah, let's go ahead and let's do this ghost hunt thing. Let's see what it's about. And we went to this one place. It was a cemetery and it was a church, a really big church. Off Freetown Road, and actually Freetown Road was Civil War battleground too. It was actually given to the slaves after the war, where they could actually, you know, they would have a place to stay. And well, 3 of us guys, we went out there with a flare camera, a voice recorder, and just a regular camera. Went out there and asked questions, this and that, and we got back to the place, and I was the only one that could go over the audio. I'm going over the audio, and there's a female voice. And she just said, she was like, I don't remember exactly what it was now. It was so long ago. But she was like, you know, I'm here. I'm cold. You know, okay, I'm class 8. Class 8. I wish I had it. But, I mean, basically, that's about it. And she went home from there.
That is really interesting. So I heard you mention urban legends. What's your favorite urban legend that you have loved throughout the years?
Urban legend about the black shuck. I love the urban legend about a black shuck. Now basically it's like Towns of Hell, the Demon Dog. And you see this dog, humanoid dog, and sit like in front of somebody's house and just staring at somebody's house. You see this dog, and next thing you know, well, supposedly the person is about to die. So it's just like I think the Mothman is like that too, isn't it? I believe so. But yeah, the black shuck's like one of my favorites because there was actually in Mississippi there was a legend about something they called woolly booger, and that's what it was. They described it as a black shuck. But see, not a lot of people know about black shuck. It's basically a hound dog. But pretty cool. It's pretty interesting. You know, I'll walk in and we try to debunk urban legends over the years. You know, just go out there and do an investigation aspect of it, but also try to debunk urban legend or hey, could it be true? But it's probably my favorite one.
I have never heard of that one actually, so thank you for that.
Yeah, this research is pretty creepy. I mean, really, it's pretty creepy. Black shuck.
All right. So, for your family, did they accept it, or are they more like, oh, it's like, I don't know how to explain it, but you know.
Being in the South, of course, the Bible. You know, my family, they accepted it because they had their own personal experiences. You know, I'm like, I was afraid they wouldn't. I thought myself as the black swan of the family, but they believed it. Because I mean, really, you think about the Bible is nothing but parables. It's unexplained. And they were totally. They never did it with me except for my dad. My dad loved it. My dad, and he saw his first shadow figure at Parkview Hospital. And he got on to it and he was like, yep, I'm going to start doing this. Because he loved the adrenaline rush. But, I was accepted, and they still accept me. You know, and every now and then my aunt would get a hold of me and let me know, hey, look, I saw, my mom in the window. And they told me that. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool whenever you have your family that sit you and, into it with you, but yet also they sit on the sidelines and they can see what you're doing, and they don't think
All right. And so, down south, what is your favorite location to go to?
Oh, man. Cool.
Just name your top 5. Don't worry.
Oh, gosh. down south, probably Bonnie and Clyde Ambush Museum. I mean, the museum is right down the road, like 6 miles away, where they got ambushed at. That's a great location. Hazelhurst Hospital in Hazelhurst, Mississippi, Hardy Wilson Hospital. That place is intense. It is so intense. There was actually a murder there back in the 70s, and we haven't picked up anything about that yet. It was just, we're getting a lot of spirits in there, especially male spirits, and also watchers. One watcher. Hume State Hospital in Vicksburg, Mississippi. That was definitely the most intense place I've ever been because of what happened to me. I got an attachment, and I basically went on a downward spiral. Actually, my story is on Haunted Hospital. I think it's called Obsession. That's what it's called. So you can hear my story on Freetown Road. I brought that up earlier. There's another episode, Paranormal 911. It's called The Chapter. That's a pretty weird story. I mean, that really affected my daughter, which my daughter's name is Madison, and that really affected her. And that young lady who finally was able to take it back to after. So probably those places are probably my number one go-to spot.
All right. If you can you tell me more about this hospital? I am intrigued.
Which one? Hume Hospital? Oh, Hume
One like with the murder.
Oh yeah, Hume State Hospital, Memorial Hospital in Vicksburg, Mississippi. Yeah. The actually investigator there was acting. A 2-part series on it. What was it called? Spirits in Vicksburg. I believe that's what it was called. It was a couple of years ago. But that place was totally intense. It started out as a memorial hospital, of course. It's below income, this and that. And the Sisters of Mercy have already been down in Vicksburg taking care of Gillespie and tuberculosis. Well, they ended up helping out at this hospital. And that hospital, like I said, it went through the Civil War too. This place was so crazy. They didn't bury, like they take limbs and all that. Back in the day, they were just thrown in the woods or had a mass burial site and stuff like that. There was also, it was also a insane asylum. But the insane asylum actually was called the Pest House, and it was right up the road. But the Sisters of Mercy, and they lived on the property. That place was just so dark, which is not there anymore because after the murder, unfortunately, Miss Sharon Wilson, they found, her body, and I really don't want to get into that here. You can just Google Hume State Hospital, and they show all the politics. But it got to where it was just really dark, and I lived like right down the road, and I was scared to go. I went there all the time, and I just got really obsessed, and that one attachment there. I don't know. I think Zach. I talked to Zach and I told him we think his name is Michael. And Zach, after we stopped filming, he agreed with me. And Aaron agreed with me too. It's like, yeah, that's what we're getting to as well. And the evidence is saying the same thing. But Michael was a complete non-human entity. Now I think he was more of a watcher because watchers, what they do is, a lot of people call them creepers or something like that. But watchers, basically what they do is they stand on the sideline and they sit here and stop the other spirits from communicating with us. They're basically open. It's definitely not a spirit, but that's basically about it. And they ended up after the murder about half a year later, they ended up saying totally. It came down to while I was there, my last go around with it, I ended up on the rooftop, and I was thinking about committing suicide. That's how bad that attachment was. It ruined a lot for me. It really did.
That's a lot. So that's like a lot to take in.
Yeah. That's what I tell people, in the field. Well, not in the field. Weekend warriors out there. They sit here and be, ghost hunters, which I think they were paranormal investigators. They Get a hold of a team, do your research, and get a hold of a team in your area where you can sit here and learn from them. Because you never know what you're going to walk into. These places, there's many places out there you walk into and you think you're sitting, doing like on TV, this and that, but you're not. You're opening the door to another dimension, and you're opening yourself up there. And people just got to understand that it's not all fun and games. It can really, it can really attack you. And so my daughter, I got her into the field whenever she was 10. She's 16 now, and I, not really trained to taught her what to do, what not to do, to my ability of knowing how I can be safe, because I wanted her to be safe too. So you do the same thing with, you want to jump into it, get a hold of people that actually been out there and have, experiences.
All right. My main thing is, how did the murder happen? It's a hospital.
Well, the hospital was abandoned. Okay.
Oh, okay.
It's been abandoned for years. They didn't even have windows. It was just a skeleton of a structure.
Okay.
And sort of like Waverly,
Gotcha.
Well, Raphael McLeod, he ended up. Okay, let me back up. 2 weeks before it happened, which I don't really like talking about it, but I mean it's all over. I mean people see. 2 weeks before, we were at the hospital, and I had a couple of people there, and we were just sitting here going through, looking at stuff, and we really didn't do any investigation. I was just showing them the hospital because they wanted to see it, because I had permission to be out there, and they didn't. Well, we're sitting here, it's starting to get dark, and we're in the crosswalk in between the two buildings. Oh, and by the way, fun fact, the place was actually area view was shaped like a phone. But we're sitting here, we're talking, and I've just put no trespassing sign. Next thing you know, I look over and the black vehicle pulls up in front of the hospital. I'm like, dude, I just put this no trespassing sign out there. Well, I was like, I ain't gonna start anything. I'm not gonna call cops. Not a big deal. Well, next thing you know, this guy jumps out of one of the windows, lower story. He just went through it, and he's walking toward us. And he was like, "You had a cigarette?" And I could tell in his eyes, they were real glasses. He was on something. I was like, "No, man, I don't smoke." And he turned around and started walking to the second part. And I looked at him and I was like, "Hey, watch out for the ghost, man, they'll get you." He just looked at me and went in there. He was staking the place out. Well, a couple of weeks later, that's whenever I get the call that there was a murder at the hospital. Went out there. I mean, it was horrible. Oh my gosh, it was horrible. I mean, I'm not going to go through the whole details with it because it was weird, Well, he ended up kidnapping Miss Sharon Wilson. She was 78 years old. Ended up kidnapping her, taking her out to the hospital, and so that happened. And and of course you'll see the articles, ghost hunters, dead body, blah 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 blah, this and that. But yeah, I mean that was it. He robbed her and all that stuff. They ended up catching him. I'm thinking, well, really? They ended up catching him and putting him in jail. A week, 2 weeks later, I think 2 weeks later, something like that time, he broke out of jail. He got the guard, he got his clothes and everything, broke out of jail. He ended up going back to the hospital, okay? Well, after that, Vicksburg on lockdown. I'm like, dude, I'm carrying my gun around with me because I've been using my name talking about all this. I'm like, I'm going to downtown Vicksburg because that's where it's at now. I don't in the country, Well, one day, Fort Hill, right down the road, a man at 6 a.m. in the morning went out to go check his mail. McLeod got him, held him at gunpoint, went inside the house, tied his wife, him up, and there was a baby in the crib. Tied him up because he was hiding out in the swamps. So he was real nasty and dirty. So he went to go take a shower. Well, the wife got loose. Wife got loose, went in there and got the 45. Went over and went to the bathroom, bathroom, shot him one time. Got the husband out. The husband got it and unloaded the whole clip in his chest. So yeah, that he would have killed me, plus the baby. So that's how it ended, and hey, justice served. That's the way I look at it. He was a monster.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just wow. Huh.
Yeah, pretty intense. You'd have to look up Human Hospital, just KUHN Hospital, Vicksburg.
Mhm.
It'll give you all the articles about it. But he got what he deserved, What he did. Horrible.
Honestly, how did he get out that easy, though? He just put on the costume and just walked out?
I have no idea. I don't know, but I mean, he ended up. He got the guard, the strip, and all that, and got his clothes, and he got out. I don't know. I mean, I don't know the full story about it. I'm sure if you do a lot of research on Raphael McLeod and Vicksburg, I'm sure something you can pull up. But anyway, and Human Hospital was connected to that. And that's what I'm saying. The place is just it was so dark. And whenever they got that excavator bucket and dug it into that, the first initial dig to that building to tear it down, I was like, thank God. It needs to go. It needs to go.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it was just all the stuff that happened there over years, It wasn't the fault. It was just all the human activity that caused it. And the property, I'm sure the property is haunted, and I thought they're talking about doing low income apartments. So yeah, good luck with that. Yeah, good luck on that.
So, in your opinion, do you think him or the person that got murdered would still be there? Or would they be somewhere else, in your opinion?
Him, probably. Maybe. Not sure, but him, yeah, probably. But Miss Sharon, I really doubt her. I really doubt her spirit is anything down there. It was very traumatic. And we all know in the paranormal field that also that's very traumatic experiences, and when you pass away, you are very most likely going to be attached to that. But I really doubt she is. I really do.
Yeah. I hope that she's at peace,
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah. It's so horrible.
It's sad.
Yeah,
No, it just is.
very sad. Yeah, and there was actually a woman that like 3 years later, wrote a book about it called Killing in Vicksburg, and I'm sitting here like, ooh. I mean, it was based on true stories, and even though we were in it, it's like should have at least waited 10 years before reading this book, because I mean, it was still, it was still bad part, I mean, she was still of the community. So I don't know.
I feel like she was having the right thought about it, just maybe not the right time for it.
Should have waited at least 10 years.
Yeah.
It was real bad.
Yeah.
Real bad. It was a book signing that she wanted me to go to, and I'm like, I don't know about that. But I just showed up there, and oh my gosh, there were people there just bashing her. You should have waited. I mean, really, and I don't blame them, because a lot of them were her friends, Yeah, so yeah, that was a real awkward. I just stayed.
I would have walked in and left, immediately.
Exactly. I would have straight packed my stuff up. Anyway, it's crazy story. A lot of drama.
Yeah. If I were to walk in on that, I would literally walk in and be like, actually, I just remembered. I have to write a 10-page essay. I will be right back with you guys.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So what got you into the film?
For me, it was more of a TV show kind of thing. I saw a lot of that, and I was like, oh my god, that's cool. And my dad was like, oh, you want to go do it? I found one near the area. I'm like, Is that really a question, Father? Of course I would like to do it. May I kindly acquaint you to this paranormal investigation?
I see a lot of people because of the TV shows out there, which is really cool. Now, I really don't watch the shows that much anymore because heck, you do. What's the reason to watch it? But every now and then, me and Kirsten would be sitting on the couch and we'll look up, just to get an idea of new equipment out there, and new styles, and this and that. That we're in the field for anyway to get the whole grill of paranormal. And it's real cool to actually sit and investigate those people because you get to know their style, you get to know your style, you get to pick up on other stuff. And that's the way it should be. Heck, it's just like going hunting. You sit around, you hang around, and you talk about hunting.
Yeah. And then is it just me, or like when I see something on the TV that I don't have, like a piece of paranormal equipment, I'm like, a free visual? Of course. Like I just sit through it just to see how it works.
Right, yeah, because you don't want to sit here and spend your hard-earned money on it. If you don't think it, in your opinion, if you don't think it'll work, then why buy it? Just to say, I got this equipment, I got it, Because me and Kirsten, we don't do that. We'll go out and we'll get old school stuff. Even get, we'll do like the ghost writing. It's considered a form of ghost writing. Get a tripod, get a fishing line, tie a pencil up in the middle, put a piece of paper down at the bottom, and let the lid barely touch it. Hey, you see some scribbles on it, could be something, Even an untrained Furby, which spars paranormal, whenever we had the group there for the paranormal project together, they brought me up on that. They were like an untrained Furby. It speaks Furbish. Don't train it. Set it there, and if you get the clear word to come out of it, could be something paranormal, It's stuff like that, and it's pretty cheap, and actually Mike, what's your Mike's name? Hernandez. Midnight Paranormal in Texas. He came up, actually it was me and Stormy and Justin, and we were investigating a brewery in New Orleans, used to be all in. And he was like, dude, try this method, the cell phone. It's like, cell phone method? What is that? Basically what you do, you get somebody's cell phone, you set it wherever you want to put it at, you get a voice recorder set it. Call another cell phone, put it on speaker, have the other one on speaker, get out of the residence or the structure, and just stay outside where there's no contamination. And what you do is you ask questions. Just ask questions through the phone. It's coming up on the other phone, on the speaker, and you got the voice recorder on the side. It's real easy. It's not really a lazy way to investigate, but you're staying out of it. So that was a real good idea. Thanks, Mike, for bringing that up, because it actually worked out. We actually heard a disembodied voice answer back. Couldn't understand what it was saying. Answer back on the cell phone. And it picked up on the recording side. So it's pretty cool.
I'm sorry. All I can imagine is, it hangs up and, you have to find your iPhone to, find it. The ghost just took it, you know what? If you want to try to communicate with me, you have to find it first.
Right, exactly.
Hide and seek. Have fun.
Absolutely.
With my luck, that would happen.
That would be cool, though. Especially if you got DVR camera and stuff set up in the inside. There's your whole grill of paranormal right there. Hey, that happened on my iPhone.
No, there's this meme that goes, shot on iPhone. I could just imagine, recording that whole thing and, at the end, shot on iPhone. And that's all it says.
Exactly.
Sorry, I just had to bring that up. I was like... huh.
Oh, man.
Okay.
So what's your favorite piece of equipment?
That's a good question. I like dowsing rods. And then same with the Ouija boards and, pendulums. Stuff that's, hands-on stuff.
Right.
I like the hands-on stuff.
Right. That's a good thing, because a lot of people don't like it because you're using your energy, but still, that's the same thing with using a voice recorder. Okay, going back to Ouija boards. You're using your energy, you're touching it, this and that. supposedly opening up a doorway. I mean, you're doing the same thing with the voice recorder. You're holding the voice recorder, you're using your energy, you're speaking. It's the same way. I mean, it's just, the Ouija board is just another tool to communicate, just like dowsing rod. It's the same thing. I mean, there's really nothing different. A lot of people argue with me about it, but I mean, really, you're doing the same thing. It depends on how you use it. With any other tool, it depends on how you use it. And you know, the cool thing with dowsing rods that I've noticed, you can actually move. You can actually sit here and move them with your mind. It's great. I guess it's electricity or I don't know, but I've tried it. I've tested it. I've got other people do it. You're holding the copper dowsing rod. You sit here and just think to yourself, open, 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 and they start open. You can get them to close. Pretty interesting. Yeah, give it a shot. Try it out. I mean, it's definitely interesting. I mean, that's why I don't use dowsing rods, because my brain is like running 90 to nothing. I could contaminate, you know, the evidence.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for me, I try to stay like still as possible. So maybe it will work, maybe it won't.
I think they do. I really do. I mean, it's a conductor, so why wouldn't?
I'll have to try it out. Like, it sounds fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Give it a shot.
All right. So what's the best piece of evidence that you've gotten? Or one of your favorites, if that helps you think of one.
Well, with me, I think evidence-wise would be probably, you know, EVP is my favorite. I've always went to EVP. Probably one of the best ones was a little girl. It was old little chick that actually was featured on Ghost Adventures. EVP was my friend Chris Burks. He ended up catching it on the 3rd floor, and it was a little girl. It was so sad because she said, "I'm still alive." And Class A EVP. It was so sad, so sad. That's probably one of the best ones that has been caught. Photo-wise, I have a photo of a female mist. You can see the face and everything. She's looking down. And I know it's not, you know, spot, cigarette smoke or anything, because we were there. I was there. And so it's pretty cool. It's definitely cool, especially whenever you see the face. It wasn't, I don't believe it completely remind me. I really don't. Because this right here, whenever we were snapping the photos, we took 3 back to back, and we didn't see them. We had flash on. But I think that's really about it, you know, except for personal experiences. You know, that we USS Salem. That was an intense place. Definitely an intense place. Well, Chris Sanders invited us out to investigate it. And I think it was me and Chris and Matt Warner and Kirsten and Kyle Palmer. It was just a bunch of us that, you know, locally up here. Adam Began, he was there. He actually, we were investigating, and Chris, like, "Oh my God, I just saw a shadow." I'm like, you know, I'm sitting here, I'm feeling something around me, and I'm starting to call it out, not provoking anything, but just calling it, "Hey, look, we know you're here, we see you." Chris saw that. The next thing you know, Adam. Well, I told him, I was like, "Come on, honey, use my energy. You know, tell us the story, this and that." And Adam ran over and grabbed me. See, I'm standing in front of a manhole, open manhole. Adam grabbed me, pulled me away from the manhole. I was like, "Dude, what happened? What's wrong?" He was like, "There was a shadow just manifested behind you, and I felt like it was going to pull you down." So, yeah, that was definitely.
I literally just would have left. I would have like went to the nearest gas station and went, "You know what? I'm just gonna get like some pizza, you know, maybe some snacks. I'm just getting ready for the drive home. I'm not going back. It's fine."
I mean, it was cool. I don't think it would, you know, want to hurt. I think it was just doing what I asked, making itself known. But that was real creepy that he saw it actually manifest behind him, like out of the manhole. I don't know. Pretty cool.
Yeah, like I said, I would be leaving. I would have been gone so quick.
What's your most favorite location that you've been to that you experienced stuff at?
Well, my favorite is Dampiner Furniture, which is also known as the Old YMCA. I love it there. It's like my home away from home. I go there like every single week. It's fun. So yeah, it's in Rock Island if anyone wants to visit it.
I want to look at it. That sounds interesting. I mean, was it death there, or any kind of history behind it, or it's just haunted?
All right, so what happened is it went from a YMCA built in 1914, I believe. It was either 1914 or 1912. And then they shut down because there was a newer YMCA built, right? Right, okay. And then, some people bought it. They scrapped some of the metal from the building. And then a U-Haul bought it and, refurbished all the halls. So a lot of it's gone. Or, a lot of the originalness is, gone. But the fourth floor is still all original. And then U-Haul sold it to the current owner, Lisa Viner, and her husband, Dan Viner. And what happened there is there was a lot of gang activity there. There was fires. I want to say that there was 2 of them, but that might be wrong. I know that there was one fire for sure, though.
Right.
And when they bought it, the office, that they sit in, it was all charred up, so they had to refurbish the whole thing.
Oh, wow.
And it was bad, but they took really good care of the building. And I respect them for that,
Yeah.
Love that.
Absolutely.
We all love that.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
But yeah, there's a lot of good history behind it, but there's also a lot of bad history behind it. But it all evens out at the end of the day.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ta-da!
That's the cool thing, that a lot of investigators are investigating at night, which is, because the fear factor of it, you're adrenaline pumping, and plus, just, spirits say that's maybe probably what supposedly do is when you catch it. But the daytime is where I get the most evidence. Because, you think about it, people are usually sleeping, like in hospitals. That's when it's downtime. The daytime, all the activity is going on. In the daytime, I've got more evidence than nighttime. Especially cool stuff.
Well, there's new theory. Guess I'm gonna have to go try that out.
Absolutely. I've got something UV during the day. Really, it's a lot better to me because I see what's going on.
Yeah. For me, I think it can go both ways. It can be better at night or day. And either way, it's going to work out. It's not they only come out at nighttime. It's never a daytime thing. I don't think that's the truth for most places. So, yeah. Just my opinion.
They're going to go wherever they can, residual haunting or intelligent haunting. They're going to do what they want to do, just like we do.
Just let them live their daily life.
Yeah.
It doesn't all happen at nighttime, okay, guys? We gotta normalize that. Alright. But yeah. Ta-da. Alright. So. So, is there anything coming up for you that you might want to, share with everyone?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, here we go. We got... November 30th, we got Black Swan Inn. Investigations. Cool place in Tilton, New Hampshire. Only got 6 weeks left for that. We also, February, we're doing the Hawthorne Hotel in Salem, Mass, which is a great place. We've investigated there before. Actually, with Justin and Stormy and Kirsten, we investigated there a couple of months ago. We got some pretty cool activity. That'll be in February. That's catering as well. Oh, and it's gonna be a cash bar too. So there you go. Let's see. We have also investigating with Lucky Bacamino, investigating with Lucky at the SK Pierce Haunted Mansion in Mass. That place is truly crazy. Let me see. We got Portland, Maine Paracon. Chris Sanders is putting on. We're going to be guest speakers there. And we've got the USS Salem, which Willie is putting on. That's in May 22nd. It's in May of next year as well. That's going to be a pretty cool event. There's a lot of great talent guest speakers that's going to be on. And so far, I think that's it. Yeah, because we got to investigate the James house in New Hampshire. And that was definitely. We did a live feed on it.
All right. So, for you, what is the coolest place that you've been to that's like the farthest away?
Farthest away? Well, whenever I was in Mississippi, it was called Mansfield State Park. Mansfield was good. Mansfield was definitely interesting. I mean, we were hearing cell doors coming, and they weren't. It was just residual sound. Saw full body apparition in solitary confinement on the first floor. Went down there as me and another team, which they invited us out there. And we let the other teams hit up everything. We take the break. It's us three, it's me, this one of my friends and her husband. And we looked at the DVR, and I'll be, dang with a full body apparition once at the end of it. So we grabbed what we could, put it. We go hauling butt down to the end of it. We didn't see anything. And keep in mind, as soon as I walked through the threshold of solitary confinement, there was nothing but like fog. It was so weird. It was so it could be, weather conditions that started on the inside. I don't know. But we go down there and we didn't see anything, so we started investigating. We walked around to the other side of solitary confinement. And the mail meter, which I thought was just a coincidence, ended up becoming the temperature was 66.6. And the girl sitting here, and she started talking, and she started provoking. She was like, "Ain't seen female in a long time. Couldn't talk to me." Next thing you know, she grabs her stomach, she hits the ground. She was like, "Oh God, I got a sharp pain." And I looked at her, I'm just messing around. I was like, "It's probably just gas." But she was there. She was serious. There was something going on. I went over there. I'm trying to pick her up. Her husband's sitting here yelling out, "Leave her alone, leave her alone," to whatever she's doing. I finally got her firing and carrier out of there. Went to the break room, pulled her pants legs up, and little fingerprint marks, all red fingerprint marks all over her legs. And it wasn't me, because I was trying to get her up by her stomach and her shoulders. Yeah, it was pretty cool. Mansfield was definitely interesting.
Yeah, no, thank you. I'm good. I think this is where I call my limits, guys.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna wait till, till I'm older. I'm gonna have to tap out of this one for right now.
It gets intense, these places, man. It really does. I mean, that's why I'm still in the field. I've seen so much stuff that I couldn't debunk. Yeah. That's what we're in for. Trying to get it. Try to get the Holy Grail.
So, for you, what is your favorite trigger object to use?
Myself? I like using myself as a trigger object. I mean, it's a lot. There's even points where I'll sit here and reenact surgical with murder there, somebody got gunned down, or I'll reenact where, how they lay while they were dead, murder, this and that. I mean, I use myself as a lot. And I try to use Kirsten a lot without her knowing, because if she did know, she'd probably kick my butt. But now we do have this, we have this stuff in them. We call it Dodo. It's a uniform. And I say it from Dollar Store. It's got crooked eyes. I mean, poor Dodo don't even have I only had one nostril. And I thought, I don't want to save it because it's from uniform. So Dodo goes on the road with us, and we use dodo. We put dodo out there as a trigger option, and we get results. It's pretty cool, like at the Hawthorne Hotel, we would get K2 hits, REM pod going off like the side of a dodo. He's just a stuffed unicorn. So he's probably what we like using as trigger option. It depends on the situation and where we go. What happened there.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, that's fun. What's the coolest piece of evidence that you've caught using that?
We just started using photos. We didn't get any EVPs or anything, but the cool thing was K2 meter was going off, and then the REM pod started going off on demand all around the So it's not hardcore evidence, but it was something different.
Well, that's fun. All right. So, have you ever read a book to, like, the spirits or anything?
I do not read books.
Man.
I do not read books. I've never been a real book reader. My Kirsten, oh my gosh, she has multiple. She has hundreds of books. She loves it. But no, I really never had. Everything that I've learned over the years, I've just learned. Learn by myself. I did research every now and then, but I'm not really into it. So it's just I want to just flow and just that's how it went.
Well, if we ever meet, honestly, I'm gonna be like Clifford the big red dog, and we're gonna be sitting there. I would be like, Clifford, the big red dog, just reading that.
Yeah.
Hopefully the spirits enjoy that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that is a good trigger option. You just sit down there and actually that was done at Ashmore Estates. Stormy and Justin were sitting here, and they got children's book, and it was where the children were like a little daycare area. Mm-hmm. And they were sitting here, and they would just sit here and pass the book around and actually read books. It was pretty cool. We really didn't get anything out of it, but it was definitely a good way to try to get any of the spirits to use it. Because you never know. I'll go to places and invest. Actually, it was with Juan and Dalen, the Ghost Brothers. We were investigating this place down in Mobile, Alabama, with a haunted theater. And I sit here and I asked a question. It was just, to make people laugh. I said, "Are you the one that puts the lotion on the skin?" And everybody just busted out laughing. Then as soon as everybody stops, you get an EVP with a laugh. So it's like, where did that come from? And everybody was quiet. Because it's right after Juan was sitting here and he was making fun of it. He was like saying all kinds of stuff. I can't even remember all the stuff he was saying. He stopped and everybody got quiet and he was saying, "You're laughing." Weird.
Well, the spirits thought it was funny.
Yeah, I know.
That's good.
Yeah, it's so cool. That's what you want. You want to talk to spirits the way you would talk to somebody else. Like you. You want to sit here and talk to them that way and treat them with the same respect you would another human. Mm-hmm.
And we stand for that. We respect the spirits.
Absolutely.
Remember, everyone, be nice. If you can be anything in this world, be nice.
Yep, absolutely.
All right. That's a good question. So, what's your favorite piece of equipment that you have other than EVPs?
Being a photographer, my camera, of course, video cameras, definitely. Really, to use it, I do like the Echo Box. Even though it is a built-out and they got all kinds of stuff, programmed into it. And of course, you might play tricks on you, but we've had some stuff come across the Echo Box that didn't make any sense and made sense. I mean, it's just like, Spirit Box. I don't care for a Spirit Box because you're scanning through AM, FM stations. You're going to hear it. And your mind's going to put it together. That's with anything. But yeah, there is that possibility that could be something channeled for it. Me and we can talk about that all the time. She loves spirit box. I don't like it. But, I mean, we come to an agreement that, hey, something could happen. Probably would be video and, camera. That would be the best, my favorite go-to actually to support it as far as events. If we were doing private residences and showing to a client, say, hey, look, this is here. You can't debunk it.
Mm-hmm. All right.
I like the SLS, but I mean, I just can't get into the cultural reference because it always maps all this crazy stuff out. But I have seen some crazy stuff happen in the past with, like actually Storm was sitting here asking a question, and I got a feeling that something was behind it. And I'm holding the SLS, and Stormy looked at me, and before I didn't even tell her, she something behind it. Something is above and behind it. When she said that, bam, a stick figure came up. I'm like, what? There's no way. But yeah, it happened. It happened, and then she said, it's gone. And as soon as she said that, it disappeared. Got it all on video. So it's pretty cool.
All right. And then I can see all your horror movie posters behind you, and I love them. So what is your favorite horror movie?
That's put me in Kirsten, combined it. I'll just borrow Annabelle blanket today. But that's one of her favorites. Any of the James Wan movies we freaking love. Because they're so cool. Anything to deal with Ed and Lorraine Warren is, we just love it. Love it. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's all. We got more at the top. We get everything. We got all movies.
Oh my god, I love this.
Right there.
Woo!
Yep.
You go. We love that.
Yep, wake up in the morning.
Okay. So, is there anything else that you'd like to say? Like,
I mean, really, it's, we just doing our thing out here, and that's about it.
All right.
Follow us on social media, give Graydream Xpenditions some likes, not really a big deal, but we'd like to see the likes every now and then, we're following what we do. But really, that's about it. Off the top of my head, I can't think. But I would definitely look up the King Hospital thing if you're interested in that and see how that unfolded. It was crazy stuff. It was
Gotcha.
So, think of anything else. And I'm sorry if I'm missing anything for anybody listening that I'm robbing. I'm so sorry.
All right. So before I start to wrap things up, I would, for one, like to say, I hope you get better, Christian. Okay? Get better soon. Hope you feel better. Eat your soup. Okay?
That's so good. Chicken noodle soup. Love it.
Oh my god, yes. Okay. Best friends, okay? Whoever likes soups, we are now best friends. I love soup for no good reason. Alrighty. So I'm starting to see this shadow man rounding the corner, telling me that our time is almost over. I'd really like to thank you for being on and taking time out of your busy schedule to come on, chatting with myself and my listeners here on Spoopy Talk. So thank you.
Thank you for inviting us on. I really appreciate it. I had a blast.
Well, that's good. I hope you did have a blast, because that's what Spoopy Talk's all about, to have fun.
Yep.
And learn some stuff. Oh, yeah. All right. So now for all my listeners out there, I really like to say thank you for coming on, being with me tonight. My next show will be November 7th, with Chris Sanders as my very special guest, owner and caretaker at Buddy the Haunted Doll, as I will be working the Factory of Fear the month of October. Make sure, if you're not following me, give me a follow at Madison Paranormal Investigation on Facebook and Maddie_Paranormal_Investigation on Instagram. So for tonight, peace, love, and happiness. And most of all, be spoopy, everyone.